Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Nina Turner.
Wow, unrigged the system. Oh my God. Has this been an amazing night or what? I've laughed, I've cried, I've cheered. I want to give a big shout out though to all of the folks who won the awards tonight. Can we shout them out just one more time? Just one more time. So this is extremely powerful that people like us are coming together and leaving the political affiliation at the door. Because this moment, our coming together, all of the workshops, all of the speakers that you have heard throughout this weekend is really about the building of a movement that will make history that is unparalleled, because you have people of good consciousness coming together to unrig a system that has failed far too many of us. And you know, it troubles me lots of times to see in this political environment that we would allow anybody to separate us based on political affiliation, based on race or class or gender or sexual orientation or religion. Because our mission in this moment, and I want you to leave here more inspired than you came, but to know that the change that we are seeking is up to us. And it's not about people who have fancy titles. You know, titles are good. They get you in the room, they get your phone calls returned, they're good, but purpose is better. And we need more folks who are driven by a purpose, who understand that our democracy is not for sale to the highest bidder. We need folks who understand that when they run for office, that they're really holding the people's power in their hands, and they should use that power to uplift the people in this country who need it the most, that we can never, ever, 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 ever leave a sister or a brother behind. So I bring you message this evening. As someone who comes from a mixed family, my brother is a conservative Republican. And we talk every single morning at 7:30 a.m. I guess that's what morning means. Because I'm trying to understand the mind of a conservative Republican. And the reason why I bring up my brother, because in this heated political environment, we got some politicians from both sides of the aisle. They want to keep us so divided so that they can benefit from this. And that in 2016, people were torn asunder over the politics of other folks, forgetting that the overwhelming majority of us are left behind by a system that says that money is speech, a system that criminalizes poverty, a system that crushes the spirit and the will of people from all over this country, a system that does not benefit us, regardless of whether we're Republican or Democrat or Green Party or Libertarian or black or brown or white. We are all in this together. And my brother, although we disagree politically, if I was laid up in a hospital and needed a blood transfusion, my Republican brother would be there. If I needed a kidney, my Republican brother would be there. If I needed anything at all, he would be there. And so the purpose of Unrigged is not just for us to leave here entertained, but for us to leave here more determined to have the conversations, to do what is necessary, to do what Stephen Covey once said, is to seek first to understand and then to be understood. Because nobody has a monopoly on what is all good or all bad, that all of us are fallible. And to the extent that we want to lift this country, through making sure that special interests and big corporations and lobbyists that write legislation, that they don't have more speech than we have, than your neighbor has, is to make sure that we bind together Republican, Democrat, Green Party, Libertarian, No Party, Jew, Gentile, Buddhist, Muslim, and everybody in between. That is the only way that we can unrig a system that doesn't help any of us when it comes down to it. Another reason why our work is so important is because we have generations yet unborn depending on us to do what is right in our time. You know, and as we reflect on Black History Month this month, can I say that? Can I give a shout out for Black History Month? And I've been thinking a lot about this from Martin Luther King Jr. Day, because really Black History Month starts on MLK Day, to now. And one of the things that the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was able to do, him and his contemporaries, was to fight against a system. But Dr. King said this, and I want you to hold on to this. He said that darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. And he said hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And love is fierce. I want you to understand that love is fierce. Love is powerful. It is because of the love of this country that we are assembled here tonight together, regardless of political affiliation, to say that we are going to do everything in our power to make sure that we level the playing field, that everybody in this country should have equal speech and voice in a representative democracy. That is love. It is because of love that those of us who believe one way and those of us who believe another way, the fact that we are willing to stand up and give voice. And this is not about throwing away what you believe, but it is about not talking about folks, not tearing down folks. I believe that we should be hard on the issues and soft on people. How about that? That it is unacceptable to tear folks down just because they believe differently from us. This is a nation of choice. So it's a choice to decide what candidate you want to vote for. It's bigger than just reproductive choice. It is choice of consciousness. In the United States of America, we believe in that. And why then does that choice stop when we have to deal with somebody who doesn't agree with us? Think about that. And if anybody in this room, and I'm not talking to the folks in this room, I know it's other folks. It's not folks in New Orleans, but it's other folks who tear folks down on social media just because they don't believe the same way. And people think it's okay. Grown folks believe that it's okay to bully folks on social media while we lecture our kids not to bully folks. It is not okay. And any elected official, any leader in the United States of America, whether it's the White House, the Congress, the governor's mansion, the city council, or the dog catcher who benefits from dividing us, they don't deserve our vote and they don't deserve our support. Because the only way that we rise is we rise together. And again, that doesn't mean that we always have to agree, but it means that we will seek first to understand and then to be understood. And that is why my 7:30 a.m. phone calls with my conservative Republican brother means a lot to me. And there is no political party affiliation that will separate our love for one another. And I'm hoping that you will take that with you. There are so many good people in this country who voted a certain way that we might not agree with, but we don't have a right to call them basement dwellers. We don't have a right to call them deplorable. We don't have a right to look down our noses at them. We don't have a right to think that our belief system is better than theirs. We don't have that right in the United States of America. We are bigger than that. We are better than that. We are stronger than that. We are fierce. And so I want us all to check ourselves and look at the women and the men in the mirror. And if you have engaged in those activities before you came to Unrigged, I hope you leave this place better. And I know it's hard because people will take you there. I know it is. But I want you to remember that love is fierce. Love is strong. Disagreement, we can disagree without tearing each other down. And some politicians benefit from that. They want to separate us, but we cannot allow them to do that. So everything that you love, whether you have children, you have a spouse, you have a neighbor, if you care about the environment, if you care about income and wealth inequality, if you care about college debt, no matter what you care about, all of those things are connected to the fact that in the United States of America, money can be used to bribe politicians. They are moved, some of them, not all of them, but far too many of them by their owners. I'm sorry, I meant donors. But there is no force on this earth that is more powerful than a committed, conscious-minded people willing to rise. And that is what Unrigged is about. It's not about Democrat. It's not about Republican. It is about a consciousness that says that I care, that I am my sister's and my brother's keeper. It is about a consciousness that decides that what happens to the least of these happens to all of us. It is about a consciousness that understands that although we elect people to office, we give them our power, that power belongs to us, and we have the power to take it back from them if they don't want to rock and roll the way that we want them to rock and roll in terms of lifting people in this country. It is time out for foolishness. There's a transcendence, can you feel it, that is happening all over this country. I will say even the world, and it's happening because of people like you and you and you and you and even some folks who are not in this room with us this evening. But we must keep pushing. We must protest, but we also must plan. But ultimately, we must persevere. Because what this summit is about is the spark in you, that willingness that when you go back home, no matter where you're from, whether it's Florida or Ohio or Texas or Kansas or Oregon, no matter where you are from, that you will take what you have learned today, the people that you have met today, that you will take that energy and that synergy back with you, because love is the fiercest of them all. Love stands up. Love speaks up. And that is our charge. And you know what, sisters and brothers, I will confess something. This is going to be a heavy mountain to surmount. And we are working for something that we hope and believe that we will see in our lifetime. But even if we never see it in our lifetime, the fact that we are fighting for it, that is what legacy building is all about. To leave the world, the space, the place better than how you found it. That it is not necessarily about how you benefit, but how generations yet unborn benefit. And what will they say about us in 2018? Did we let partisan politics stop us from seeking understanding, or did we love? Did we stand up for what was right and demand of politicians that you take the people's money, one person at a time, not one big corporation, not just one wealthy donor, so that you have to answer to the people? And guess what, sisters and brothers, if they don't want to do that, then maybe they ought not be elected. I mean, it's simple. This is easy, and it's up to us together collectively when we agree and when we disagree. But what we agree with tonight is that we are committed to unrig the system. Love is the fiercest of them all. It really is. And in the moments when you are feeling like this just might not happen, I'm going to bring you word by 3 people before I leave this stage tonight. My first one is President Nelson Mandela, when he said, "It always seems impossible until it is done." And I'm also feeling tonight a little Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. I want you to come with me on this. You know, I went to Austin, Texas, sisters and brothers. And when I got there and I got the baggage claim, this is magnificent statue of the Congresswoman, and I walked over there and I was communing with that statue. I know some folks thought a sister lost her mind, but I was feeling something. I was feeling all types of ways. But the Congresswoman, she said this. She said, what the people want is simple. They want an America as good as its promise. With people all over this country from all walks of life, no matter if they're rural, urban, suburban, what they want is an America as good as its promise. The way we get that is to make sure that we unrig the system. And my last messenger is closer to home. My beloved grandmother, who was born in 1913, she could not read or write, but sisters, and this is for the sisters, she could count her money. And she kept her money in the Southern Ladies Bank and Trust with a handkerchief. If y'all don't know where that bank account is, you better ask somebody. When I asked my grandmother, what does it take to be successful in life? She said, my dear granddaughter, all you need are the three bones: the wishbone, the jawbone, and the backbone. She said the wishbone will keep you hoping and praying, because hope is the motivator, but the dream is the driver. The reason why we do what we do each and every day is because we hope and we believe that tomorrow will be better than today. She said the jawbone will give you courage to speak truth to power, to lift your voice, to not be silent, but to believe in the power and the purpose of your mission. Lift your voice. But the most important bone of them all, the supercalifragilistic expialidocious bone, is the backbone. Because the backbone will keep you standing through all of your trials and your tribulations. And in this life, sisters and brothers, we will go through some stuff, but we cannot have a testimony without a test. And we are being tested whether or not we have courage and conviction enough and faith enough and love enough and dedication enough to do what we know is right in our time. We will, we must, we can unrig this system for ourselves and generations yet unborn. So they will shout us out and say that in the 21st century, in the early part of the 21st century, they did that. Who are the they? Republicans did that. Democrats did that. Green Party did that. Libertarians did that. No party did that. The American people did that. Can I get an amen? Amen. And amen. Are you committed to unrigging the system? Are you committed to unrigging the system? We will do this in love, but we will do this. God bless you.